Hello and welcome to Your Questions Answered with Father Gruner. I'm John Veneri. In this program, we take your questions. Father Gruner answers them. We have discussions about them. And please continue to send us these questions at questions@thefatimacenter.com. You see the email, questions@thefatimacenter.com. Here's today's question. Is it sinful to buy things on Sunday? And what are the specifics to this? For example, would it be a sin to buy beer on Sunday? Or what about eating at a restaurant? So how do we deal with this?
Well, first of all, I just start with a little story that I was recently in Strasbourg, as you know, John. It was in November, the same day the Pope was speaking to the European Parliament. I was there speaking to the European Parliament also. But I was there a few days ahead of time, so I was there on Sunday. Last time I was there, I don't remember being there on Sunday, but I was quite edified to find out that Strasbourg shuts down on Sunday. All the stores are not open. Yes, restaurants are open, but you can't go to a department store. You can't go to plumbing store, or anything. You can't buy things on Sunday that are not necessary for the day. The closest stores are closed. I say this is really interesting. Now,
it's rare anymore.
France, is not known. France is the eldest daughter of the church, but it's not known to be practicing faith by and large. But the city of Strasbourg, in the portion, there it is, it's on the border between Germany and France, they closed down. And it's because of their Catholic faith they closed down, because that's the way it should be. And so I was very, very edified. Of course, I'm told that's the region of France that resisted the French Revolution, and to the point of blood. There are many martyrs in that part. So, and that's the we can't. So part of the problem with this question is that some people, even in Ontario and even in Quebec, when I was growing up, even up to some years ago, even in Ontario, which is Protestant, the stores were closed.
Yes. No, I was born in 1958 in Philadelphia, and I remember when I was very young, the department stores were not open, the stores were not open.
Yeah.
There was a pharmacy opened if you need to have a prescription filled.
Sure.
And there wasn't all the restaurants that were open now, but there were some restaurants as well.
Yeah, but the whole point is that, in my lifetime and yours, even in Protestant America or Protestant Ontario, the law of the city was stores are not allowed to be open, and they couldn't be open because it was wrong to be conducting commerce, unnecessary commerce, on Sunday because that's the Lord's day.
Third commandment.
Yeah. And keep holding the Sabbath day. So I think that now so the first thing is we really should be, and I was edified because I haven't seen this for some time, not in former Catholic country, province of Quebec, or former Protestant country, like Ontario. But in my lifetime, even in the last 20 years, it was changed. And before that, they couldn't do that. So I think that the first question we really should say is, what should we be doing? What is the spirit of keeping the Sabbath day, the Sunday? And of course, our Lord, and it's certainly the spirit of it is, the Sabbath was made for man, as our Lord himself said. So we shouldn't be so legalistic to say, oh, well, I'm not going to help you out because I might have to go and do some work. I might work up a sweat because you happen to need me pulling you out of a ditch on Sunday. Our Lord said, well, if I can, if you're going to pull a donkey, let me tell you, trying to pull a donkey anywhere is a lot of work. Pulling a donkey out of a ditch is going to be a lot of work. But yes, you pull the donkey out of a ditch even on the Sabbath because that animal is God's creation, but also it's your property and you need that animal. So if it's on Sunday,
leave it there.
You can't just leave it there. So we should, if we're going to do that for a donkey, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, then you should certainly do it for a man as well. Okay, having said that, but the other side of it is, if it's not necessary work, we shouldn't be doing it. And why not? Because, first of all, several reasons. We need to give the time to God. God, to talk about things of God or to think about God, it takes some time. So we need some time for thinking about God and talking about the things of religion. And so we need, if we haven't got any other day, we got the Lord's Day to do it on.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they will find a spiritual book that they like, or they like reading catechism, or the lives of the saints, or something like that.
So the whole thing is, first of all, we will get to the question, but first of all, what is the idea of keeping the Sabbath day holy? Well, first of all, we have to give time we have the obligation to worship God. And since we live in community, all of us, by our human nature, we live in community. Even hermits, still have the community aspect of it. So God's law is that we have to give common worship to God, and since God, He designates a day, which is Sunday, for Christians, commemorating our Lord's resurrection on that day, and commemorating God's act of creation on the first day of the week. The whole thing is God, we give that day to God because God says, that's the day I want it on. Okay, God's told us, so Sunday is the day of giving. No, we have to give public worship. So we have to give that hour of going to Mass and giving worship God in the manner He wants us to be worshipped in going to Mass, traditional Mass on Sunday. But then the rest of the day, we should still be giving to God. Now, God also, our family obligations are, I mean, we see our family every day, most of us, but at least on Sunday we should spend some time with the family other than, okay, we're working in a hurry, we don't get fine. On Sunday we should spend time with the family so that the family and building the family bonds, which is also part of the fourth commandment, either for the parents or for the children. And it's also, that's the day to do it on. We should do it every day, but especially on Sunday because that's the day of the Lord's to put us. Now, apart from that, then we have, but we should not be then say, okay, I'm going to do this to make more money. I'm not going to do this. So it should not be commercial. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go to a restaurant and eat at a restaurant on Sunday, or get some essentials if you've
if you actually forgot something.
If you forgot something, so if you need to buy a dozen eggs, or if you need to buy, I don't know, some milk or something like that, it was always understood that the Sabbath was made for man. That is, so we're not going to make it so onerous that you can't, you have to starve today because you forgot to get something.
And it should be, if you're buying on Sunday, it should be necessity.
Yes. But that's the whole thing.
You don't do your food shopping on Sunday.
Yes, right. And so people should. I mean, the stores are open on Sunday, and if I went to, I try because I always wear my cassock, so I don't want people to get the idea I'm agreeing with food shopping on Sunday, because I don't, because it's against the rule. However, but you're buying necessities. But I won't even buy the necessity myself on Sunday because I might give somebody the impression I'm agreeing with buying food on Sunday. However, having said that, everyone else should avoid only buying any shopping other than what's necessary.
And also, I think a lot of it is getting in the habit of thinking about Sunday and taking Sunday seriously, because as we know in the Old Testament, the day before the Sabbath was what they called the day of preparation, is that the Jews would actually prepare to make sure that they had everything they needed so that they would not have to work on Sunday.
Yes.
And so I know, I mean, my wife says to me, she'll say to me at 10 o'clock at night, I have to go out to Wegmans on a Saturday night because we need this and we need that, and I don't want to go out on Sunday.
Yes.
And to get that to start thinking along those lines, as Saturday as a kind of day of preparation for Sunday.
So since, for example, to buying beer on Sunday, I mean, if you're in a restaurant, there's nothing wrong. If you're in a restaurant and you're, and that's what you chose to do, and you're not doing it in excess, you can buy a beer in a restaurant. But I wouldn't recommend going out to buy, whether it's beer or wine or hard hard liquor on Sunday.
Well, it's a bit of a luxury item, really.
Yeah,
I mean, some people might disagree with that, but,
but
but it's a bit of a luxury item.
Now, if it was somebody had to have that because of their health and the only time they could get it or whatever else, I'm not saying they committed sin because, but in turn, for most people, they don't need the beer on Sunday. For most people, they don't need the wine or something else on Sunday. If they don't have it in, don't buy it. Now, if you're at a restaurant and you're having a glass of wine with your dinner or whatever, that's fine. That's not a problem. But you can go to a restaurant, on Sunday, because it's always been understood you can eat on Sunday. It's not breaking the Sabbath, But you're not going out shopping on Sunday. You're not buying. You're not carrying on commercial enterprise. I'm not saying, therefore, that if you have something you have to prepare for work tomorrow morning, it's Sunday night, and you're spending 15 minutes or something like that making a preparation. I'm not saying you're breaking the Sabbath that way, but certainly it's not something that you should be working on.
Yeah, and part of it, I think, too, we have to wrap this up, but part of it is, I think, is just getting into the mindset of taking Sunday as a holy day and taking that seriously, and the repercussions and the consequences of that.
And even the physical rest. I mean, if it's a day that you can get more rested, or meet with friends. But also, you should try and spend some time learning more about your faith.
Well, yes,
or say some more prayers. I mean,
because the Sunday Mass is only the first part of the obligation.
Yeah.
It does the rule of the church says keep holy the day.
The day.
So using that time to, as I said, read about the lives of the saints,
and
that's why a number of the churches too, they will have they'll have catechisms afterwards and things like that.
Or you can even watch a video of a well done video of a life of a saint. I mean, there's some very well ones, and you're learning something, and yes, and you're relaxing. But and I find reading the lives of the saints are still. I mean, it's still all my life. Not that I would like to read much more of them. You certainly, they're both enjoyable. and they're educational,
And
they're-
edifying.
and edifying,
Yes.
all of that.
So anyway, there's a lot we could talk about do's and don'ts for Sunday and what is keeping the Sunday holy, but we've run out of time. And send us another question about it if something's unclear. We will see you on the next program. Thank you.